I found this, I don't know, I guess it must have been about 10 o'clock. Yeah, just... in these boxes, more of these pistols.
Is there any way this these sort of armaments could have been wanted for embassy protection in some sort of future desperate scenario?
They would have had to have expected an awfully heavy sort of attack, I would think. No. No, I guess my supposition is that these Cubans were fighting, finally decided they didn't want to fight anymore, and they ran to the Soviet embassy and they had these weapons with them. And then the decision was that they would try to take them out, hope they could get them out unseen, and whether we would have had a scene in Havana of a bunch of Cubans coming off the plane with their weapons slung or waving them in the air a la the PLO or shooting off rounds, celebration, that called for something extraordinary. And once we had opened these and he was aware that we knew what we had, he was no longer very upset about the fact of the search. He agreed then that the kind of, maybe just in the States going on a plane was probably in order.
Were these boxes in with the other boxes that were still up in the house?
That's right. They were all loaded on trucks. Some were unloaded back here and some were unloaded up in the front of the building.
Who loaded them on the truck?
These were loaded at the...
These were loaded at the Russian embassy, and they were loaded by Russians and North Koreans and Cubans. We did not do any of the loading. They had all the stuff already packed when we went out there.
You transported them here now?
We transported them on the trucks here.
That's correct.
We transported them with a Soviet companion in each truck, I might add.
Was there any talk between you and the Soviets that these would be somehow protected by the
No. No, they have a provision and they used it tonight. They carried 2 diplomatic pouches with them, and had they chosen to do so, they could have marked these crates as diplomatic pouches. I don't know if they thought about it or not. One thinks that they must not have.
This Ambassador overthrow.
You might mention that, yeah.
Ambassador?
No.
I might mention that I was the one who was at the Soviet ambassador about the details of this departure. And late in the afternoon, I took him and his translator aside and stated to them very bluntly and very specifically that we knew that, or we suspected strongly in any case, that the Cubans who had come into the embassy compound had been armed, and that there was no arms to leave the embassy compound. That was a condition of this movement. And the Soviet ambassador assured me explicitly that there would be no arms moving out of the Soviet embassy compound, and here we are. Later on...
I don't know the exact type of pistol. It's also the same as the ones that were carried in the pouches. Every weapon in here had a loaded magazine. Every